Melbourne Falcons, 25-21, a lead by 4 points as we move on in the match. Falcons with the advantage.
Well, a good start to this match, Corey, by the Melbourne Falcons. I guess coming into the game, slightly more experienced squad with players like McInerney and the 3 national team players. But certainly the Norwood Bears gave them a good run for their money in the first set.
Definitely a bunch of young, talented individuals on the Norwood side of the net. They're giving away the free ball to the Falcons. Not necessarily a good option. John McInerney finding the block. Now the free ball for Norwood. See what they can do with it. Outside to Ian Perks, pushing that one off the top of the block. The libero for the Falcons, unable to bring it back. As Norwood take the lead, 1-0 early on in the second set.
Oh, that's a great recovery by the Bears.
Sador in there going over the bleachers. The ball kept alive.
Oh, the whistle's gone. It's a point to the Bears. Well, it wasn't exactly textbook volleyball that we were seeing there, but it was pretty exciting nonetheless.
Tough play close to the net. So have a look, the one-handed set. Looks like that was called for a carry or a net touch. Yes, a net touch called by the second referee. Great work again. Falcons using that quicker ball to the outside. The ball getting all the way out, but not getting the height. Beating the block out to Terry McDonald outside. As that serve contacting the net tape.
Faint touch on the way through. It's not like tennis where you play a let in that situation. It's an immediate point to the other team.
Hunter with the jump serve. John McInerney, great swing, hitting out of position 2 on the court. Caught the court divided up into 6 positions, starting from number 1 in the back right-hand corner. Going into the front court, 2, 3, 4 across the front, and then 5 and 6 in the back. We see broken play, great use of the ball. Jason Sador going cross-court. One of the tallest players on court. But definitely one of the most experienced. We see a great angle inside the triple block.
Just kept in amazingly. Almost in the crowd.
Grantham, great work coming around behind the setter. The young hitter from the Australian youth team, pushing that one in between the 2 blockers, running that quick ball. As we see a service error from the jump float serve. Giving the serve back to the Falcons, currently trailing by 2.
Good serve as well, plenty of power on that one.
Ian Perks out of the back court for Norwood. Good use of the ball. Of course, Ian currently in Canberra training with the AIS. Pushing that one around the block, finding open spaces in the back court.
Yeah, Ian Perks, one of a number of young guys trying to break into Stelio Di Rocco's World League volleyball team. We've already seen Australia take on the world champions Italy in a thrilling encounter at the Sydney Entertainment Centre. World League volleyball finally arriving in Australia, Corey. It's great to have it here.
First year for Australia in the World League. Truly international competition with over $12 million in prize money up for grabs. And of course, Poland coming to the shores of Adelaide very shortly to take on the Australian team on their home turf.
And just after the Polish side, the Russians are coming, the gigantic Russian side, one of the biggest sides in the world, also to take on the Aussies. Great era for Australian volleyball leading into the Olympics.
We see the error from the Norwood Bears brings up another point for the Falcons. Both teams here tending to use a backcourt attack quite often.
And as we saw in the opening set, it's a very tight encounter. Neither side able to really draw away from the other in the early stages of the game. 7-6.
Oh, great run. Ben Loft, national player, playing for the Falcons this weekend, getting on the end of that B ball. That one's called a B, the quick ball, pushed close onto the net for the middle player.
Oof. Well, he gave that serve everything, and in doing so, he produced an error.
Troy Goodman with the error brings up the first technical timeout, 8-7 to Norwood. Players taking a moment to rest, take on some refreshments, get some words of wisdom from the coaches. The Norwood Bears, a couple of AIS representatives shining through. Ian Perks doing very well, especially out of the back court for the South Australian team. Andrew Grantham, the national junior player, has had a few errors so far in this set. But Andrew Hunter as well, another player for the AIS, doing very well in the setting duties.
Anything, Jason?
It's a 90-second timeout, the two technical timeouts in the game. There's Alexis Lebedew, the coach, just throwing it open to the players to contribute. So take another look at this huge hit here. It was blocked. Norwood was still in the point.
It's good work from Troy Goodman there to get that play off the block. Then Ian Perks with the in-broken play, pushing that ball just too deep, giving the side out to Melbourne.
Good example. Once you're in position for the quick, especially on lofty, you're not going to move for it. So don't even think about moving for it, just think about being there to dig it when it gets hit at you. If it doesn't hit at you, you're not going to dig it. But if you're there and you're ready, then you bloody well better dig it. Okay? You've got to make sure you're ready to dig it. Okay.
Alexis Lebedew giving some defensive tactics for the Norwood Bears. Just saying that on those quick balls that Ben Loft has been running through the middle, you've got to put yourself into position. You don't have time to react. That ball's travelling very fast off the national player's hand. Make sure you're in position. As we see a side out to the Falcons, a service error. Jason Sidoran there, the wrong server, giving the advantage to the Falcons.
A very rare error at this level, but that one just came off the top of the net.
Grantham there with a play behind the setter. No block on him, but unfortunately just pushing it into the tape. The ball dropping into open spaces on the Falcons side of the net.
Well, up very quickly. The Bears still in the point. McDonald through. Just came off the block there.
Doesn't make the same mistake twice. Terry McDonald hitting the ball a bit harder the second time, pushing it through the block instead of trying to go around it.
Well, Terry McDonald, one of 9 players from the Preston Falcons in this Melbourne Falcons squad. That's the club team, of course, the Preston Falcons. 3 from the AIS in Mortimer, Goodman and Loft, and a couple from Monbulk as well. So they are a team that know each other very well, their strengths, their weaknesses, and certainly tactically it would be a big advantage.
It's a great serve from Hunter. Ends up in the Falcons giving up the free ball. Out of the back court, too deep from Norwood. 10 points apiece. Falcons drawing level. Once again out of the back court, this time going around the block, but just too deep, going out beyond the back line.
McInerney, captain, coach of the Falcons, with the serve, and that's gone long. The flag goes up on the far side of the court.
Jump float serve from McInerney, making its way into the game of a fair few players in Australia at the moment. We see Ian Perks there with the top spin jump serve. As we have penetration under the net from the Falcons. Can't step over that line. You are allowed to have your foot on the line, but you can't go over.
Take a look at the serve. Wow. He took the pace off it this time, but the last one went like a rocket.
Change of pace with the jump float serve from Ian Perks. A good tactic to be able to shake up your opposition. Grantham finds the block. It's some great defense from the libero player.
Well, fantastic scramble there by the Bears, but in the end, they couldn't maintain it, and it's a point to the Falcons.
Some good touches on the ball from Nicholas Smith, the libero player for the Safcol Bears. Allows Melbourne to try and close this gap. 11-12. Great block from the Falcons. Troy Goodman there in the front court, getting both hands on the ball, denying Norwood the attacking opportunity. Taken on the inside hand. 12 points apiece. McDonald with the serve.
Oh, another great rally. Look at this. Just coming off the top of the block there. It's a point to the Falcons. A little mini comeback by them to get back into this game. They've 3 or 4 points on the trot now. And it was McDonald just off the block there.
Better pass from Norwood.
Oof, big hit there.
Off the libero defence. Heath Gerbert. Good work from outside. 13 points apiece. Once again, the Falcons go to Terry McDonald in the back court. The go-to man at the moment, especially with that big left hand. No block. And the defence found wanting. Hunter goes to Grantham through the middle for Norwood. Through the hands of McInerney. Actually, it was Dwyer that time. Good quality attack through the middle. 14 points apiece.
Well, these two sides are very evenly matched, and that is reflected in the scoreline.
It's tit for tat at the moment. Terry McDonald coming out of the backcourt, and Norwood using the middle attack, finding a way through the middle of the Melbourne defence. That's a great serve, the ace from Troy Goodman.
As we go into the second technical timeout of the match, it's the Melbourne Falcons leading by 2 over the Norwood Bears. Another very close encounter. It was a 4-point game in the opening set. It's equally as tight here. The coach of the Melbourne Falcons is also the captain, John McInerney, the number 7. He'll have plenty to say, I'm sure, the veteran Australian volleyballer. Troy Goodman and Ben Loft, the 2 main players, number 1 and number 2.
Ben Loft, number 1 for the Melbourne Falcons. Plenty of height. Great defence from number 15. It's Nicholas Smith for the Norwood Bears, the libero player. That's why he's out there, specialist defensive player. So we see Grantham trying to come in for the late block and contacting the net.
You know what your job is on court. Okay? And we got 3 passes on the court for a reason. Right? No need to be changing up on that. Absolutely none. Everyone's passing fine. Right? We need to be clear about our roles. And as soon as we start stuffing around with things that you've never done before, everything kind of gets clouded and rushed. We need to slow things down when we get in situations. Slow things down. Everyone knows what the roles are. Just do the roles.
Alexis Lebedew, the coach for the Norwood Bears, saying, let's stick to the plan, guys. You've all got your roles out there on court. Don't start changing up now. We'll start clouding the issues. Of course, Alexis, the brother of the national team assistant coach, Mark Lebedew. Great volleyball family in South Australia. It's Troy Goodman with the jump serve.
The Norwood Bears trailing by 2 in the second set. That was not a great set either. And it's a point to the Melbourne Falcons.
Double called on that set. So we see Grantham finding the block. Good block from York and Loft in the front court for the Falcons. But unfortunately, Sidoran getting called the double set.
There is Mark Lebedew, the assistant coach, in the back working away on his laptop, as he often is.
Dwyer there, directing that one deep to the corner. Getting the side out for Norwood.
So it's still a 2-point game. The Melbourne Falcons, first to 25, remember. So they're 8 points away from taking the second set. And if they did take the second set, it would be very hard for Norwood to get back into the game. But they've closed the gap to 1 now after that point.
Bit of payback for Dwyer here. The double block on the backcourt attack from Terry McDonald. The Norwood Bears now expecting that backcourt attempt. That's
big block. 3 of them there.
The triple. 3 of the biggest players on court. York, Loft and McDonald.
Pretty hard to get past 3 of those guys up at the net. Oh, the little short serve. There they are again.
Perks finding Loft again in the front court. Over 2 metres tall, Ben Loft, the youngster from Victoria. At the moment, he's a blocking machine. York getting some play off the block for the Falcons. Good use of the ball from broken play. Melbourne now jumped out to a 4-point lead, 20-16. It's a timeout's called by the Norwood Bears.
Well, it can all happen very, very quickly indeed in volleyball, and Melbourne really have skipped away from the Bears here.
Especially with the new scoring system. Every serve worth a point. Even just a 30-second lap of concentration can cause your opponents to get out to a 4 or 5 point lead. Got to stay on the ball the whole time.
The best time to set the pipe is on the,
John McInerney talking with his charges, just saying that SAFCOL are aware of that pipe option that Falcons are using. So we have a look at York pushing that one off the block. Good play. Paul York recently moved to Canberra to train with the AIS team.
Well, the key for the Falcons in these last few points where they've just run away from the Norwood Bears has been some fantastic blocking at the net there by likes of Goodman and Loft, also McDonald as well. Now they have established a base for themselves to close out this game. 5 points away from victory. Norwood with it all to do.
Great work from the Falcons. You can't leave Terry McDonald one-on-one. Hunter there, given the responsibility of the one-on-one block, and McDonald just goes over the top. Good work, Ian Perks outside for Norwood.
Well, Norwood desperately needed that point. In the first set, the score got to 21-17 as well, and Norwood rallied and levelled back up in the 20s, but not so here. That serve has gone long. You cannot afford serves like that at this stage of the game.
The error from Dwyer, allowing Melbourne to get even closer. 22-17, first to 25 with a 2-point advantage. As Ben Loft, current member of the Australian team, patiently waiting as we have a change in the setters. David Box coming onto the court for the Falcons to take over the setter's role. Ben Loft with a serve. Good move there from Hunter. Taking the second ball option close to the net and pushing it off the block. Trying to get Norwood back into this set.
Straight to the libero, and that is a straightforward point as well to the Melbourne Falcons. They are now 2 points away from taking up the second set.
Great swing from Paul York. Pulls out the right hand straight down the line outside the block as John McInerney comes back on the court for him. Captain coach back to serve for the Falcons. 23-18, 2 points away from finishing off the set.
Oh, great little quick ball there.
Huge effort from Norwood. That pass not quite on the net, but Hunter pushing it nice and close for Grantham to get a hold of it. Puts it away for Norwood.
So the Bears are still alive, but only just in this second set. And there's another point to Norwood. 23-20. They are slowly inching their way up to the Melbourne Falcons. They cannot afford to make one error, though. Oh, that's great play.
Terry McDonald going the soft option. The Norwood defence waiting for the huge hit. But to no avail, just tipping that one over the net, bringing up set point. Ian Perks with the pipe for Norwood. Some good play. Still set point for the Falcons. Grantham, a bit of pressure on the serve.
So they've saved 1 set point. They need to save 3 more. And they can't. Yeah.
Troy Goodman finishing it off from outside, taking the pass and the hit. Brings the second set to the Falcons, now with a 2-set lead.
Guys like Troy Goodman really do have the experience and the talent and the pressure points. And as we take a look, identical scores in the first 2 sets, 25-21. The Melbourne Falcons now have a 2-set to love.